Hey everybody, this is Jack, formerly known as Incrediguy across the internet. And before you say anything, I know that I haven't been active and I haven't made a video in 5 or 6 years, and I probably have a lot of explaining to do in that regard. But long story cut short, I have been in college, I have been busy, I have been in film school, and I'm actually a little bit close to graduating now, but for the longest time, I've actually been wanting to get the channel back up again. You know, getting nostalgic and all that crap you get as you age. And actually, early on this year, I recorded a Windows 10 in-depth review but never got to finish editing it and uploading it. But even if I did, it just would be totally pointless as Windows 10 has been around for quite some time now. But now I have again been presented with a chance to record a video as my friend Vince is asking me for help with fixing his computer. He's having some problems with Windows 10 and he wants to basically go back to Windows 8. And I know how frustrating that can get. That's why in this video, I'm going to be teaching you the easiest way possible to downgrade your Windows 10 into Windows 8 or Windows 7 or whatever Windows you had before. Now, the most likely scenario that you're in right now which led you to finding this video is that you're in Windows 10 and you're having some problems, or you just don't plain like it because, well, let's face it, Windows 10 sucks. And you now want to go back to Windows 8 or Windows 7 or whatever Windows you had before, and you're having some trouble because you can't downgrade or you can't fix your PC, because actually the way that this works is with Windows 10, there's actually an option to go back to Windows 8 or Windows 7, or there's actually an option built into Windows 10, but that is only if you had that option checked during the installation of your Windows 10. So basically, if you go ahead to your start menu and if you check your control panel, go to settings. It's actually called settings in Windows 10. Yeah, right, I know. So if you go ahead and went to your settings and go down to update and security, now there should be an option here that says go back to Windows 7 or go back to Windows 8. Now, most probably you don't have that option. That's why you're watching this video right now. That's why I'm going to be teaching you right now on how to install or reformat your PC back to Windows 8 or Windows 7. So without further ado, let's get this tutorial started. Now, to do this, you're going to need a file, an application. You're going to need an application called Rufus. Now, basically go to your browser and go into your search bar, go to Google and type in Rufus. Now go ahead and click the first one that comes up. The address is basically rufus.akeo.ie. All links will be in the video description down below. So basically it's an application that looks like this. Go ahead and scroll down to the download button. So basically click on Rufus 2.10. That's basically the latest version as of now. Go ahead and download that. I already have one on my desktop. And don't worry, because it's a standalone application. You don't need to install anything to do this. Now, the next thing you're going to need is an ISO file. Now, if you don't know what an ISO file basically is, an ISO file is basically an installation file, an installation image. If you don't know what an ISO file is, the easiest way I can explain this is basically an ISO file is kind of like a zip file or a RAR file. It's basically an archive. It's actually an image of an installation disk. Now, you may be wondering where you can get ISO files. I actually have my ISO files right here. Now, I just want to say this for the record. I am not claiming to be an advocate of piracy and all, but I just had this downloaded, well, on certain P2P sites. I had this downloaded merely for demonstration purposes, so I can teach you how to do this, so I can make this tutorial for you. But I highly recommend that you not download from illegal sites like Pirate Bay or Kickass and all that. But yeah, it's still up to you. You gotta do what you gotta do. But I just want to say that I am not advertising piracy. I'm not claiming to be an advocate of it. And yeah. But if you want to know where you can get ISO files legally, basically you have to go to this website. All links will be all links will be posted in the video description down below. Basically go to these websites. There's two actually. If it depends on whether you want to install Windows 7 or Windows 8. If you want to install Windows 7, go to this website. If you want to install Windows 8, go to this website. Now, basically, you're going to need a product key. Now, where might you find this product key? Usually, it's located under your laptop or anywhere on the box that came with your laptop. As far as I know, all laptops, when you buy laptops, you're given this safety installation disk of Windows 7 or Windows 8 or whatever OS your PC came with, you're given this installation disk as a form of backup. So for whenever you want to reformat your PC, you can do so. So basically, there has to be a product key. Look for this product key. Most commonly, it should be under your laptop. And you have to remember that if you don't have a product key, this will not work. You cannot download this officially. You cannot download this ISO from the Microsoft website. That's why you need to find your product key. Once you've found your product key, go ahead and go to this website. This is for Windows 7 or this is for Windows 8. So basically, just go ahead and go to this website and scroll down and go to the box that says enter product key and go ahead and paste your product key here. So basically, as I've said, this will not work. You cannot download this ISO file if you don't have your product key. So make sure that you have your product key and go ahead and enter it here and click verify, and then that's it. That's done. You can download it once you've entered your product key. So go ahead and download the ISO. So once all that's done, once you have downloaded your ISO, once you have Rufus, that's basically it. That's all you're gonna need. Now once you have that all downloaded, go ahead and open Rufus. And once you open it, it's going to look something like this. And the way that this works is actually you're going to need a USB that's at least 4 gigabytes, no less. It's basically not going to work if it's not at least 4 gigabytes. Okay, so get yourself a USB, plug it in, and it's going to automatically detect that and select that it's going to be here. It should be here in the device list. I don't have a USB on me, that I forgot to bring my USB. But yeah, once you plug your USB in, it's going to show up here. Go ahead and select that and basically go ahead and go to your ISO image. Go ahead and check create a bootable disk using ISO image, and then go and browse to your ISO image. I have mine right here. Go ahead and select that, and it's going to scan your image if it's ready to be formatted or ready to be integrated into your USB. And if it's a clean copy, it should be alright, but if it's a bad copy, it will tell you right away. So if it's a bad copy, you have to do something about that. Go fix your download, fix your ISO, get a new cleaner copy. So once all that's done, go ahead and plug your USB in, select that, and go ahead and check standard Windows installation quick format. And then the file system, if I remember it correctly, I think you'll have different choices between NTFS and FAT32, and I recommend that you just don't bother with that. Whatever's on here, when you first plug your USB in, just leave it at that and then click on start, and then it's going to do the job for you. It's going to create the bootable USB, and then just wait for it to finish, and that's basically it. That's all automated. It's going to do the job for you. Just wait for it, and once it's done, just go ahead and click close, and we'll be moving on to the next step. Yeah, and I'm just gonna quickly do this off camera. I need to find my USB, and I'll get back to you once it's done. Okay, so once that's done, once Rufus has finished doing the task for you, as you can see, if you plug in your USB, the computer will immediately recognize it not as a USB drive, but as a DVD or as an installation disk. It will immediately recognize the USB as an installation disk. So that's really awesome, right? So that's all the hard part done. Oh, and actually, I almost forgot to say this. Basically, when you're installing Windows, there's an option to save all your personal files. But for all you paranoid people, just to be on the safe side, just go ahead and make a backup of all your files. Go ahead and transfer them to your hard drives, external hard drives or USBs. Go ahead and do that. Now's the time to do that. Go ahead and back up all your files, all your personal pictures and photos and music and what have you. Oh, and one other thing that I almost forgot to mention is that you need to take note of your drivers. Go to your web browser and go to Google and go ahead and take note of your laptop's specific model. For example, let's say Toshiba Satellite something, and then go ahead and type drivers at the end. And then go ahead and go to that official website, to the official website of your laptop, and then enter the model or serial number here of your laptop, and then it will basically provide all the drivers and software that came with your laptop pre-installed. So This is basically going to be useful because if we do a fresh install of Windows, basically if we do a clean install, all of your software will be gone. So all of those pre-installed software that came with your laptop when you first bought it, it will all be gone. And usually, as far as I know, when you install Windows, it basically saves all the drivers for you. But just for safety reasons, just go ahead and take note of all these things, download all the drivers that you need, and take note of all the drivers in your device manager, just to be on the safe side, Now, once all that's done, go ahead. Now, what's left now for us is to install Windows. So now let's go to our mounted USB drive and then go ahead and click on setup. So basically you're gonna see a screen that looks something like this, and then just wait for it to load. Now you should see a screen that looks something like this. It's basically gonna ask you if you want to go and install updates. Now I don't want to be bothered with that. I don't want to install updates, so I'm just gonna go and click no thanks. Now, as I have said earlier, you're going to need a product key. This is basically not going to work if you don't have a product key. So go ahead and fix your product key. Go ahead and get it and input it here so that we may continue with the installation. So I'm just going to paste my product key here. Now, once you've typed your product key, go ahead and click next. Go ahead and check I accept the license terms and click next. So now you're going to be presented with two options here. You're going to have the choice of whether to upgrade or do a custom install. Doing a custom install is basically doing a fresh install. So what that means basically is it wipes all of your files, all of your personal settings, all of your personal files. It wipes all of that clean, all of your settings and whatnot. That's why if you want to keep all of your files and settings, go ahead and click on upgrade. But I don't really want to do that because I have backed up all of my files, so I'm just gonna go ahead and click on custom. Now, if it asks you where do you want to install Windows, go ahead and click on your C drive or your main drive, your local disk. Go ahead and click that. Mine is C drive, so go ahead and check that C drive and then click on next. Now, if you get a message like this, what this basically means is that if you have Windows installed on your C drive, it's basically going to back that up. This is actually the good thing about formatting, because even if you do a custom install and you have Windows installed in that drive, it's still basically going to back up all of those previous Windows files. So that's the good thing about this. So just go ahead and click on OK. So once all of that's done, the hard part's over. What you have to do now is basically just sit back and wait for it to finish. Now, I highly suggest that if you're using a laptop, that you keep it at all times plugged in, because if the battery runs out and it shuts down, well, that basically means you're screwed. So just remember to keep it plugged in at all times if you're using a laptop. So just go ahead and sit back and wait for this to finish. Usually it takes about an hour to an hour and 30 minutes. So just sit back, grab some coffee, watch some Breaking Bad or what have you, and I will get back to you once it's done. Okay, so as you can see, we are now back. Once the setup is done, most of the installation, you're going to run into a window that looks like this. Now, you're just gonna input your country, your language, your keyboard layout, your time zone, and what have you. So just go ahead and adjust this to your time zone and your keyboard layout and your language, and then click next. Now moving on to more personal stuff, your theme colors and your PC name. So I'm just gonna put in here Jack PC, and then just select the color theme that you want. Just gonna select red. Click on next, and then if you run into this page, I suggest is you just use express settings. But if you want to do some customization, you have that option. You can do that if you want that. I'm just gonna select use express settings because I just don't want to bother with that. So what this basically means is that most of the formatting is done, and what's left now is only the customization of your PC, of your accounts and everything and all that personal settings. So as you know, with Windows 10 and Windows 8, you are now being required to sign into your Microsoft account. I actually don't know if we can bypass this. Let's check that out. Yup, we can bypass it. So you have to input your Microsoft account. If you don't have one, you're just gonna have to create a new one. Okay, so once you're done logging in with your Microsoft account, it's going to ask you about SkyDrive. It's basically this new form of cloud storage by Microsoft. So I'm just not gonna bother with that. So I'm just gonna turn off these settings. Okay, so once you see the screen, it basically means that the setup is on its last leg. It's basically just finalizing all the settings, and the installation is basically done. Okay, so as you can see, the setup is now done. What's left now is logging in. Let me input my password real quick. Okay, so here we are logging in. Okay, so as you can see, the setup is now done, and that's basically it. That's how easy it was to downgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 8 or Windows 7. And yeah, actually in Windows 7, when you're installing Windows 7, the concept is basically the same. It's essentially gonna work the same. The format is the same. So okay, yeah, so that's basically it. That's the easiest way on how to downgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 8 or Windows 7. So if you want to install Windows 7, the concept is basically the same as I have said. It works the same. It's essentially the same, the setup, the processes, and you're also going to use Rufus, download the ISO, get your product key and all that stuff. Yeah, it basically works the same. Just plug in your USB, boot from it, or load the setup, and it's all self-explanatory from there. Now, after you've completed the setup or the format, I think the best thing to do first is check your files, or all your personal files, if they're all still there, if you did an upgrade. And I think that's the best thing to do first, is check all your files. And obviously I don't have any files here because I did a clean install. So another good thing to check, okay, just give me a minute here. Another good thing to check is all your drivers. Check to see if all your drivers are working properly. So go to your computer management, go to device manager, and check all of your drivers here if they're working properly. go check your Wi-Fi. If that's working properly, go check all of that. And if there are things that are not working, as I have said earlier, go to your laptop manufacturer's website, official website, and input your specific laptop model, and go to the driver option, download all the drivers and softwares that came pre-installed when you first bought it, so you can download and install all of that. And yeah, that's basically it. That's basically how to downgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 8/Windows 7. So thank you for watching this video, guys. Hope it was helpful to you. Hope you enjoyed it and all. And for all you people who have followed me over the years, I promise I will make a separate video discussing all my plans, my future plans for this channel. And yes, I do plan on getting the channel back up again, making some more videos, tutorials and all. That's why I promised to make a separate update video about that, discussing all my plans for this channel, what videos to expect and all that. And yeah, actually I've recently just gotten some time off from school, so I definitely will be making some more videos. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe, comment and like on this video. If you have further questions or concerns regarding Windows 8 or installing Windows 8 or Windows 7, please put them on the comments below and I will try to answer them as much as possible. And yeah, if you haven't already, please do subscribe for more tutorials in the future. And yeah, thank you for watching. This has been Jack and I'm out. Thanks. I'll see you later.